Yo, yo, yo. It is Reverse Polarity episode 51. It's me, your boy High Five Vega, sporting the 5-star shirt. I'm
Me
joined, as
too.
always, by the man who never sleeps, the tosser of salads.
Oh wow. Damn.
The guy who doesn't
I'm more
have
of a
any pet peeves in
stirrer.
cardio.
None at all.
None at all.
Dude,
Zero.
let me tell you what, the man that never sleeps needs to get some sleep.
Yeah, man.
Holy crap, man.
We gotta change it. You gotta get lots of sleep.
So it's funny. Monday night I got home and I was ready because Saturday or Sunday was just like ridiculous, trying to just suck Saturday or suck Sunday for all the fun I could get out of it. And so Monday I got home and I was just like, oh my God. So like 10:30, I fell asleep in the chair and Sue was like, just go to bed. And I was like, you know what? I am. So I got like a great night's sleep Monday, but then I knew like the rest of the week was just going to be shit because I had, I have having to get the Rockford video done. So it was like 2:00, 2:30, and then whatever tonight's going to be. But it'll be done, and that's the nice thing. So I'm just excited. I'm excited about that. I actually forewent the Thursday night run just so I could have like the hour and a half before this show starts to just like
chill.
No, work on the video. get So
yeah.
I think I have all the footage where it needs to go.
Right.
So now I just have to go back in and add audio, and then we're gonna. My plan is Friday night. The girls are gonna be gone. I'm gonna do a final watch on the big screen, and just make sure that everything is the way I want it. And edit it as I go if I need to.
Yeah.
But it's an hour. It's an hour and 30 minutes right now.
Wow. That's that's. I don't think people realize like how much time you spend per minute editing typically of video. So it's like an hour and a half. You spend a lot of time editing. A lot.
It's insane. I mean, well, look at it this way. If you go to the movies, okay. I mean, this was a 4-day shoot.
Yeah.
Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday we did pickups. So this was a 4-day shoot. It's taken. I started editing last week. I think I had 2 days last week, and it'll be 3 days, 5 days to edit. So it's 9 days, and we're putting out an hour and a half of content.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Good times.
I mean, it's no blockbuster that you're gonna, but I mean, yeah, it's. I just want it on my IMDb page. Can I get an IMDb?
There you go.
As a director, principal photographer.
Yeah. Everything like, and then it has all the like, and the scroll at the end. Like it should just have your name on all this. Here's the Nando's on every single thing. Prop.
Yeah. Yeah. B-roll. Fernando.
Assistant.
Pain in the ass. Fernando.
He would say. I'm sure he'd say the same. He'd nominate you as well.
His goal in life is to see how irritated he can get me. That's what brings him pleasure. So I'm not there to irritate him. He's 100% there to make sure that whatever I'm doing,
an agent of chaos, so to speak.
100%, 100%. But with that being said, we got a topic for tonight. I'm pretty excited about this one.
Yeah, man. Car audio pet peeves.
I mean, where could you go wrong? Right?
Where could you? I mean, we've done this topic before.
It never gets old.
No, I mean, we could literally probably do this topic every single week for at least a year.
Let's hope not, because I don't want to be that. I mean, I feel like most people think I'm a curmudgeon as it is. I don't think we need to go that crazy.
I mean, yeah, just let's say this. Let's say this. So you might be the most jaded man in car audio, but I will say this. Like, if you look at the amount of time you've been doing this, like, professionally.
Yeah.
So, like me, I'm not very jaded when it comes to car audio. But if you came to my work and we're speaking about, like, how to run this line and how to run this battery.
Right.
Like, I ain't trying to hear none of that. I already know. Like, I've been doing it
Well, you know, and that's
a long time, and I think that's what people forget when they
that's
like.
100%.
It's
Because
literally your job. You're a
yeah,
professional for over 30 years.
yeah, and that's you know, like when we talked about the show we did with Kicker, their birthday show, you know, and Andy made the comment of you know, we're all whatever fans or whatever,
Hobbyist or
yeah,
something. Yeah.
hobbyists or some shit like that, and I'm just like, no, we're not.
Yeah.
You know, no, we're not. That's where you're wrong. See, there's and it's funny because all right, we'll throw the term pet. We'll start right off with the term professional. All right, that to me is like if you're a professional at anything, that means that like you could look it up in the dictionary if you really want to, but it basically means that your source of income, what keeps you going, is what you do for a living. So to be a professional at something means that you have to make a living doing it. Doesn't mean you do it the best. It doesn't mean that you're the number one guy. Professional does not mean the quality is any better. It just means you make a living doing this said task. So, for example, you're a professional battery maker. I mean, that's,
Yeah.
you make batteries. You do it professionally. It supports your family. It's your livelihood. You could be a professional fry cook at a restaurant. You could be a professional street liner. I mean,
Yeah.
it's there's no good or bad to the term, but for some reason, the term professional makes it sound like you know what you're doing, and I get it. But the reality is you don't. A lot of guys, and I don't understand why someone would want to be like, if you're an amateur, you're an amateur. An amateur is a guy that does it not full time, but still does it to a level in which, if he decided to, he could easily become a professional, but he makes his real money someplace else. Now we call them DIY guys, but really you're just an amateur. And so that word for some reason has a negative to it, which doesn't make any sense because we know there's plenty of amateurs out there that are better than professionals. They just can't make enough money to support their drug habit, so they do something else. But if you don't do something for a living, then why would you want to call yourself a professional? Okay.
Yeah.
So like if I'm working out of my garage or if I'm working out of my house and I don't actually do anything other than my own car, then you're a hobbyist,
Right. Yeah.
You're not even really an amateur. You're just a hobbyist because you only work on your own stuff. You don't work on anybody else's stuff. I feel those are the layers. And there again, not a bad term. It's great to be a hobbyist. Hobbies are fun. Hobbies are what keep us going. An amateur is a hobbyist that started to get paid. And a professional is somebody that makes all their money from doing it. And none of them are bad. But in any industry, there are professionals and there's everything else. And in this industry, it's funny because that line gets really blurred. Like, they really blurred. And it's like, listen, if you want to argue with me about something, fine. Make your point. Talk to me about it. Let me hear it. And if you're right, you're right. I'm not always right. But when I say something and it's like, hey, or like if I'm doing something, it's like, dude, there's years of doing it and refining it and coming up with the way that we do something. And unlike most or some, depending on how you look at it, where like my goal is to not get by. I wouldn't be where I'm at if I got by. My goal is to always find the best, most efficient way to do something. And at a level that is like, whoa, because you have to have your niche. So it's always funny when the hobbyist or the amateur tries to interact with the professional.
Right.
It's like, okay, on some level, yes, but the most part, no. If you see something once, this is my pet peeve. you see something once, you automatically assume that that's the way they all are. And it's like, well, how many have you done? One. Okay, so you had a bad experience one time, so they suck now. Well, yeah. Okay. Well, you're an idiot. I mean, you know.
Yeah. So, like in a hobbyist and enthusiast, you just have to know. I think it's got a lot to do with you too. To be quite honest with you,
I'm just a douchebag that sticks wires together.
But there's like, there's people on YouTube. They just want to be.
They want to be
pests.
Professionals.
They want to be pests. I think even more than professionals.
Yeah.
They just want to be like, oh, guess what? You're dumb. I know this better than you. I'll make us.
Oh yeah. You always want. Oh, the smartest guy in the room. You always want. Right. Oh, I know everything, and it's like, I mean, I never claim to know everything. I learn new stuff. To me, I want to learn new stuff every day. I want to get better at my craft every day. I don't ever want to stop learning. I want to evolve my craft. I mean, I've been doing it for 30 years. And to say that, like, and that's the truth. Like Fernando will tell you, it's like, we never stop looking to do a better way. We never stop wanting to learn. I always, I don't do all this or go everywhere. And there has to be more to it. So, I want to learn. And there again, I could learn from a hobbyist and I can learn from an amateur.
For sure.
It's just when, you come at me, bro, man, come at me. Like,
it's correct. You better come correct.
Yeah, definitely come correct.
It's just like in any job. And I think most people are like this. Like me, in whatever department I'm doing at my job, I want to be the go-to guy. I want to be the best. When they have an issue or they want to know what's going on. And, I am that guy, although I've worked with people that are really good and we've all been there at the same time. They're all like very good at their jobs. I'm also like one of the go-to guys. Like nobody's doing it better than me. They can do it maybe as good, but I'm, I want to be the guy. And I'm not always in every department, but the departments I spent my time in, I try to be that guy because otherwise, what's the
you strive for value,
right?
Like you want your time to matter, and you want to be considered the resident expert in that. And you want to be the guy that's like, I want to know what I'm doing, and I'm just not standing here.
Right. Yeah, just getting by, like you said. I don't want to be the guy that's getting by.
No. They're ignorant, not dumb, or idiots. Oh, no, and you're correct. And these are words that are just, to me, it's all semantics as far as what words you insert. Listen. People aren't inherent, Andy Waymire, for those who don't know, the owner of Audio Frog. I'm listening to his podcast right now, and Andy and I are I'd like to say we're friends. We've spent much time talking anytime we're in the same room. We'll talk for an hour or so and about everything, about dogs and cats and kids and stuff other than audio. But I really respect the guy in the sense that he spends a lot of time thinking about a lot of the same things I think about. And one of the phrases that I kind of coined as far as living your life by is everybody is somebody's stupid person at some point. Okay. So we all go, oh, that guy was an idiot. Oh my God, these people are so stupid. Okay. Well, you can't be the smartest person all the time. Okay. Right. So, when you're carrying on that conference, oh my God, everyone was idiots today. I mean, Jesus. I mean, okay. You are somebody's idiot at some point. Right? It's unavoidable. Okay. And some conversation, you're the guy they're talking about that was, oh, the stupid idiot. It's there. Okay. To me, and I agree. He said something that was like made sense in that you ask an expert gives you advice,
right?
And you have to decide what to do with that advice. So if I come to you and I ask you a question about what you're an expert in, and I'll put up air quotations because I don't want to make everyone okay. And I give you my take on the question you've asked me. All right. And that's it. I'm done. Like, it's over. The conversation doesn't need to go any further than that. You asked me this. I answered that. There's no reason for you to come back and rebut the conversation. But what about, well, no, you don't understand. This is the answer to the question.
Right.
Well, yeah, but I want to, okay, that's not the same question. Or you're questioning the answer. And it's like,
like
why,
this,
you had
a question, not a conversation.
Yeah. Are we having a conversation about this? If we are, that's different.
Yeah.
You know, but you ask the question, you know, when you take a test and you go, you know, what is the color of the rainbow? And it's like, blah, 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 blah. And you it's B.
Right.
You know, they go, well, no, it was C. Well, no. And then you want to have more conversation about it. It's like, no, this is like you ask a question, I answer a question. You ask, you know, we're not having it's not what I signed up for. So where stupid or idiotic or whatever, ignorant comes into play is when you ask an expert a question and they give you an answer. And then you, who does not know much about the topic, which is why you asked the question, now wants to argue with the person that answered the question. Clearly the person that had more knowledge about it, which, don't get me wrong, as Americans, it's our right and our duty to do this. Right? Don't we do that all the time? I mean, that's kind of like what Facebook is for, I thought.
Yeah, to argue with people only.
Yeah. So, you know, I'm not saying anybody's stupid, by no means. And I'm not saying I'm smart, by no means. It's just I feel we have to always look at the situation and kind of decide what battles are worth fighting.
Yes.
You know, if you ask me something and I answer it, I'm assuming we're done. If you want to debate me on it, I'm still assuming we're done. And I go, I ain't got time for this shit. You know?
Wait, you know, and sometimes I'll get into that on, you know, just social media comment like, okay, this is different than I thought this was just going to be like a question situation, but this is not that. This is the argument. So it's like, yeah, I'm out, man. I'm out.
Yeah.
We got the one thing out. Yeah. If I can tell that it's going that way, and you can always tell with the next comment, if it's going that way, it's like, all right, I'm out.
Mid bases, boss. Changed my mind. Not gonna try. Gonna try. It still brings me back to the 1,000-watt amp. Okay, and this is a pet peeve. This is 100% pet peeve. Yeah, if you buy a 1,000-watt amp for whatever Derek told you the coolest 1,000-watt amp on Amazon is, and it does its rated power, and it's however the cheapest thing is, and everyone's so excited that they can get a 1,000-watt amp that'll actually do 1,000 watts for a reasonable amount of money, then, you know, that's it. That's the only amp I should ever buy. I shouldn't buy the one that's 4 times the amount of money that's 1,000 watts, because that's garbage. They're lying. This guy can do it over here for a quarter of the money.
Right.
These guys are full of shit, and I should never buy that. And it's like,
what, you know, the worst part about it is those people, like, no one, like, Derek never said that was the greatest amp in his video, but people weaponize it. Like, they didn't.
Well, they hear what they want to hear.
Right. And he's like, yeah, it does this amount of power. It's got this cheap stuff. Who knows it's going to last. And then that's their weapon to beat people over the head.
Well, because the only thing that matters is if it puts out 1,000 watts or not. You know, that's the only criteria. El Fuego comes in and says, number one pet peeve, people don't align their budgets and expectations and complain about the result. Number 2, me still wanting 9907 hectare. That one will piss me off until the days come home. I mean, that's a conversation. So a conversation between a salesman and a consumer, not a customer. There's a difference between a customer and a consumer. Okay. A customer walks in your store buys something. He's a customer. A consumer walks in your store, doesn't buy anything, and leaves. That's a consumer. Okay. Till he buys something, he's not a customer. He's just a consumer. All right. Semantics.
Professional tire kicker.
Yeah. When the salesman, one of the jobs of the salesman, and I use salesman because we don't have a lot of salesmen anymore, thanks to companies like Best Buy. And I have nothing against Best Buy other than the fact that they have destroyed the salesman and made him a stock boy. Yeah. Circuit City, when they existed in Tweeter and Sound Advice, they had salesmen. They had people that understood the products, spent hours of their lives figuring out how this product was to interact in your life, the consumers, so that they could help you make your dreams come true. We don't have that anymore. Now we have box getters and we have clerks. A clerk is somebody that just goes, okay. Did you guys sell Three Musketeers? Yeah, we have them in bars.
We also have the other one, the installer named Dean that says he's not a salesman, but always has to end up being the salesman.
That's just that sucks. But I'm not a salesman though. But okay.
But you have to explain the product you have to do the job of what an old salesman might do in the beginning.
Yeah, I mean, the reason why I say I'm not a salesman is because we never talk about money. A salesman's job is to get money from you. I don't do that. I don't care how much something costs. Okay. I don't know what your budget is. I can take the two and just out of experience get an idea. If you come in and you say, I want to spend $2,500, well, I can kind of put, it's like, I'm not going to show you, KRX2s. It's just not going to happen. All right. Because really, but I can kind of start in an area that makes more sense for your budget, but the job of the salesman is to hone what El Fuego is complaining about, the money spent to expectation. I think last week's show was pretty much based on that whole thing, that if I buy a $5,000 set of speakers, they have to be the loudest speakers in the world. And the reality is you're a freaking idiot if you think that, because no, they're not. You should have spent $100 and got some DS18s that will guarantee rip your ears off and be some of the loudest speakers you've ever heard. Nothing against DS18. I love those guys. They make some loud ass speakers that don't suck. So, yes, I just, and I hate the guy. Oh shit, that drives me up the wall. Puts me in the wrong fucking mood is when someone says to me how much they spent on a system is supposed to make me move faster to do whatever it is they need. I spent $2,500 on this. I mean, whoa, I don't give a shit. It makes no difference to me. Your level of happiness is not got anything to do with the amount of money you spent. I am going to take care. If you spent $100 with me or you spent $10,000 with me, I am equally as attentive to your desires and needs. I don't care how much money you spent. As soon as you throw money at me like that's supposed to be a motivating factor for me to care more about you, we're done. I'm out because I don't care. My job is to make you happy. And if you think you telling me how much money you spent is going to make me care more, you're wrong. I don't give a shit. You know, my job is to make you happy. And if you're going to throw, like, I can't believe this is happening. I spent, you spent money and that guy spent money and that guy spent money. Y'all want shit perfect. Okay. We get it, but you don't have to remind me of it. I'm going to do my damnedest to make sure it came out exactly the way it's supposed to. But people love doing that shit. Oh my God, it drives me nuts. Well, I had one guy, this was years ago, but we had to kick him out. Like we had to, as we say, fire the customer. Because that's what they call it. And they say fire the customer. Yeah. We had to fire the customer because, his expectation of what he brought us to install and his lack of knowledge about the equipment, and then his bitching about the price. And all of these things, it was one of those things where you just knew it was wrong to do it. And I said, this is a bad idea. We should step away from this. No. This is a bad idea. We should. It's like, I know what I'm talking about. This is going to go south. And then it goes south. And then I'm left with, as always, trying to put the pieces back together as Humpty Dumpty is slowly but surely smashing into the ground. And I got to the point where I was like, I'm done with this. I'm done.
Las Vegas.
I'm done.
Blackjack.
You know, I will pull the money out of my wallet to make you go away because I am done with this shit. I am this close to just packing my shit up and leaving this place because both you two, customer, owner, suck it. I'm done.
Dude, I know exactly. You know, there's ways you can handle this. Like, for example, 2 different kits. There's 2 different reactions I get if someone wants a custom kit. Right. So I get a price, and I just had one today. This is the perfect response that I like. So I tell him the price, and he's like, you know what? That's actually more than I expected. I didn't want to spend that much. Sorry to waste your time or whatever. I was like, it's absolutely not a waste of time. No. Totally cool. Totally
well, there again, because not everyone understands how much stuff actually costs. Right. No problem with that.
Yeah, and he's just like, I've got it. I can do it myself.
He was an adult about it.
Yeah, and I was like, you didn't waste my time at all. You asked something, I gave you that. The other one is like, oh my God, that's ridiculous. I can buy this and that. And it's like, well, you should buy that. You should buy that stuff then. Maybe. No. Maybe this isn't for you. This is.
Oh yeah. Oh no. I mean, hey, it always takes me back to the F1 status, baby. Hey man,
that's what I was thinking.
This ain't the product for you. It's okay. I mean, one of the things, another irritating thing, is the people that just expect shit. Like a lot of people have this entitlement now. Okay, and I don't mean that in a political way. I just mean like, and Fernando and I talk about this a lot. I have a job, I work, I make money, therefore I deserve this. All right, okay, sure, whatever. But what it comes down to is I want this. Okay, therefore it should be mine. All right, well that's $1,000. Whoa. I said I want it.
Yeah.
I don't have $1,000.
Yeah.
What can you do for me? Charge you $1,000. No, you're not understanding me. I want this. Make it mine. I will for $1,000. We're not jiving here. No, we're perfectly jiving. You don't understand that it's costing $1,000. For some reason, you think you're going to get it cheaper than that because you want it.
Yeah.
That's not how it works. I want a Lamborghini. Guess what? I don't have $350,000 to buy one. So you know what that means? I don't get one. Done. Have a nice day. I'm out.
Yeah. Exactly. And if it's Friday, they might not sell it to you, even if you had the money.
Yeah. No, at that point, I'm out. Yeah. Pet peeve. Car audio guys who pretend to be bald and suddenly sprout a full head of hair.
Well played. All
right.
You know what I have? I have a poll, believe it or not. I was ready, prepared.
Look at that. We're 20 minutes in talking about car audio.
I know. And we started with car audio.
I know, which is weird. What's the most you would pay for a set of component speakers? Ooh. Oh, God, you guys are cheap.
This surprised me because, and I said the most because that doesn't mean, I didn't mean like what you average pay. What's the most you would pay? And in my limit would be the $600 to $1,500 limit. The most I would pay for a single component set.
Okay, sky's the limit. Sky's the limit, dude. Okay, listen. There's a couple facts in life. Shit costs money, right?
Yeah.
Plain and simple. How bad do you want something? All right. If you want something really bad, you know what you need? Money. You know how you get money? Time and patience. All right. So Haley wants a Lamborghini. I know she does, but I want it too. Anyways, if you have patience, you'll have the money. The problem is nobody's patient anymore. We want
Right.
shit now. So we open our wallet and we go, oh, I can't afford that. Yeah, you can. You just don't have the patience to wait to afford it. You know,
Right.
When I bought my big 300 millimeter lens, that was $7,000. All right.
Yeah.
I don't just have $7,000 laying around. It took me like a year and a half to save $7,000 to buy it. And the whole time I just sat there and looked at a picture of it going, one day you will be mine. Now, I could have bought other shit, you know, and settled on some crappy like F4 hunk of shit, you know, for a quarter of the price. Yeah. But no, I wanted the F2.8, you know, 300 millimeter, image stabilized, badass lens. Okay, well, you're going to have to wait. All right.
Yeah.
I don't want to settle for shit. You know, we only get one spin here. So, you know, if you want crap, fine, buy crap. I don't care. But there isn't a $300. Like, come on.
That's a budget set. That's like
barely a set of Alpine S types. And guess what? They suck.
Yeah. 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 $300 I consider a budget set. That's like the price of these, which is a budget line. You can get the Maximus 602s for roughly that price. That's a budget line, in my opinion.
Budget line, yes, 100%. Maximus 602s, under $299, whatever they are.
Yeah,
badass set of speakers. Okay, cool. You know, but that's literally like the cheapest set of speakers I want to sell anyone. I mean, all right, well, you know, like, oh, I don't have a lot of money. All right, well, we have the Maximus. You can get in these Morels. You know, these are badass. $300. Oh, that's nice. But like they're settling. Yeah, who wants to settle?
Yeah.
Nobody.
But it depends on how bad you wanted it. This is what happens with me. I might want something and I'm like, I turns out I didn't want it that bad because not even a month later, as I'm saving up for that, you're like, oh shit, they have this. Actually want this more than that.
Oh no, which is fine. I mean,
yeah.
You know, I got a really good customer of mine. We've done at 5-star, I think we've done 2 or 3 of his cars. At AVE, I probably did another 2 or 3 cars. Guy's a great customer, lives out of state, drives in to have us work on his car. And he goes, you know, he always buys Focal. He's always buying Focal. And he goes, you know, man, I really, really want a set of K2s. And I go, I really want you to have a set of K2s. Right. He's like, well, I mean, I just, you know, I've always gotten flax, but I really want to try K2s. I'm like, okay, let's do K2s. I said, what is holding us back here?
Yeah.
And so we designed, I said, all right, let me just go, I'll design your system and we'll figure out what it would be with K2s. Okay. Because it can't be that far off.
Right.
And he's like, okay. So we played with the numbers a little bit in the sense that not actually changing the numbers. We played with the numbers because I was like, all right, how important are the rear speakers? He doesn't have kids. He doesn't do anything in the back of the car. All right. So he wants Focal. We'll go integration. Set of 6.5 or 6x9. Set of integrations, back doors. Cheap. Super cheap. Okay. If we did a set of Focal flax in the front, coaxials in the back, Focal flax, okay, it's going to be X amount of money. To go with a set of integration and a set of K2s up front, it's actually cheaper. Okay, by like $30.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, okay. So now it's a question of, do we want to go active or passive? So do we want to go with a 4-channel amp that powers everything? Because in this case, we couldn't use the deck to power the rear speakers. So we are going to have to amplify them. So I was like, do we want to go with a 4-channel amp, which to me sucks because it's like K2s and these shitty speakers are going to have the same amount of power. I hate it. Or do we want to go 6-channel? So now there we're looking at, I think the price difference between that was like $350.
Right.
Okay. So it's like, okay, I can get you your speakers that you've always wanted to have by doing this. However, to power them properly, there's a $350 difference. But that's it. Okay. Everything else all being created equal, we're about $350 away from dream I've always wanted, settling. It's $350.
Exactly.
Okay.
Save up for another month or whatever.
Yeah. It's like, come on, man.
And then at that point, let's go Utopia and let's just go crazy with it.
Yeah, no. Audiofrog GB Series 3-way front stage. I've been saving for over a year, and you won't be disappointed, El Fuego. You know that. Those things are fabulous speakers.
Yeah.
All right. Dean, give us a price. What's the most expensive ticket out? Honestly, I have no idea. I couldn't tell you because I really don't get involved in that aspect of it too much.
Yeah, you just set it up and you're like, Paul. Like,
yeah, I do. I literally just, I mean,
like you can debate with Paul about the price. I'm just telling you.
Yeah, that's not me. I don't care. To me, that ruins it for me. As soon as you got to haggle with me, it's like sometimes I'll stick around just to make sure the price is something you can handle so we don't have to go back to the drawing board. Sometimes we'll have to do that. Does Dean deaden the doors when installing a high-end set of components too?
You require it sometimes, don't you?
Yeah, we do. We won't do it if you like. I'm not putting. There are certain speakers we will not put in your car unless you do some form of deadening and fast strings. Just because, what's the point?
Exactly.
You know,
I feel the same. He's
El Fernandez.
Yo.
When buying a expensive set, okay, so it's funny. The most amount of money that these people are willing to spend on a set of components is actually even less money than what most people will pay for us to install a set of high-end components, like $300. I'm not putting a set of K2s in your door for $300. It's going to cost you more than that. I can tell you right now.
Yeah,
you're going to, between sound treatment, fast rings, brackets, you're going to spend more than $300. To do a speaker properly, you're going to spend more than that. There's no question about it. It's an expensive thing. And that's what's great about the DIY community. And I started doing this because I didn't want to pay an installer. Plain installer. I was like, I can do this. You know, I can do this. I mean, you're kidding me, right? So, I did it myself. And as soon as I did it myself, the car stereo shop was like, you want to come work for us? It's like, wow, you'll pay me to play with. Oh, come on. Dean, is the Sony ES a solid choice for SQ? Oh gosh, Dean. Whoa, go. No, you don't have to go back. You can put that one back up.
All right.
Dean, I just got my uranium 3-ways. Have you heard these yet? What do you think? Actually, yeah. Fernando has the uranium 2-way set in his car right now. And what was really cool about those is, like, we're just running them straight active. They were some of the best sounding, because there's no DSP, there's no EQ. We're just straight out of the box, set the crossovers, turn them on, and they sound phenomenal, man. Oh my God. Like, balanced, great, like tweeter to mid-range level. It wasn't like just like, I need to be EQ'd. It's nothing like that. They just sounded so smooth. I was like, wow, these are really nice.
And that's ones Nando has in his car right now in the lab.
Yeah.
Cool. We
just finally got the amplifier back that I managed to break. So we can finally finish filming that video. Yay.
There you go. you got to dig through and check them out.
Yeah. But that brings up another point as we were talking about pet peeves. Let's talk about DSP pet peeves. How many times have you heard a couple things about DSP that people that don't understand what we're talking about or what they're looking at on a DSP? Like, the number one question I always get when let's say I do a D4.800 4-channel amp on a set of components up front, coaxials in the rear, and they see the big passive crossovers, and they immediately say, "Oh, you have a DSP. Well, what are those for?" And you're like,
"Yeah." It's like, time alignment, EQing, little things like that.
Channels.
Yeah.
I got 6 speakers. I got 6 speakers and 4 channels.
Yeah.
That's why they're there. Can't avoid that.
I think like every person in this chat should have some form of DSP in their system. It doesn't matter if you're a Basshead, you're an SQ guy, you're just that average ground pounder. You throw a system in. You should have some form of DSP because it expands your system so much. It's way better than just hooking speakers up to an amp and calling it good.
I would agree with that. It's funny. So today we did a system that it was a borderline 911. Okay.
Yeah.
In the sense that it really wasn't that bad. We showed it on Wednesday. We showed it on Wednesday. It was a Chevy Silverado single cab. And he did the guy is disabled.
Yeah.
I think at least that's what I think he tells me, or he's just he calls it whatever he calls it. I don't know. I'm just gonna call it disabled for whatever. So he had to have his son help him put the install in, but he's a former electrician, which they're getting not points in his favor, but we'll give it to him. He's been doing cardio and hobbyists and all that fun stuff. So he understood what he was doing, and they ran wire everywhere in the car, and they used zip ties, and they tried really, really hard to put this stereo in this car, and it just didn't work right. Like the rear speakers never played, it sounded bad, could get no volume out of it. And I was like, okay, I mean, no problem. I mean, we can figure it out.
Right.
And, taking it all apart, it was like, man, this is one of those things where it was like, you were so close. Like,
you were close. That's
you were close, but close only works in horseshoes and hand grenades. Okay. That's just it. If
there's no difference in passing a test with a 71% versus 100% in real life. You passed it or you didn't. So.
Yeah. So he, but he realized that, which points for him, and he was like, listen, I just want you guys to just start over. I'll pay it. Do what you need to do. Give me that 5-star install. I was like, okay, no problem. So we took it all apart, went back at it, and it wasn't anything we got to design. So it was just like, here you go. And so we had to kind of work with what he had.
Yeah.
And it's like, okay, what are we going to do? It was like one of those weird, food challenges where they give you you have berries and you have this, and then, you have this weird shit. And you're just like, I got to make a meal out of this crap. Oh, great. But he had good stuff. So we had a KX 5-channel. I was like, awesome. We got a badass 5-channel amp. We had a Comp RT in the loaded box with the passive radiator. So I was like, we had a set of, this is where it got weird. We had a set of Q-Class 6x9 coaxials. I'm like, okay. All right. We had some KS tweeters. And at the time, we had some Memphis.
The Q-Class coax, those could be separated, right?
No.
Not
the 6x9.
Oh.
No. Uses a neo-magnet structure. It's really weird. Right. Some Memphis 2.5s. And some Infinity 4x6 plates. So it had a 4 and a tweet. Because a single cab Chevy. And a factory radio, LC7i. But what saved the day is he also had bought one of the Alpine Restyle radios for that truck. And it's just been sitting on the shelf for 4 years.
Right.
I was like, so we got a new radio. I was like, awesome. We can work with this. I don't know how. So the plan was, all right, we have to take these recipes and we have to come up with something that we know we can make work. Immediately, it was like, all right, what other stuff do you have that you want to throw at this? And he goes, well, I bought a set of the KS 2.5, so I want to take out the Memphis. I was like, so we're going all kicker. All right, cool. How important are those rear speakers that are behind your head? He goes, well, they don't work right now, but I really like rear fill. I said, okay, fine. But I don't want to waste the channel on the amplifier for that. That sucks. Because the amp's only 75x4 anyway. So, and I don't want to put three speakers on each channel, and then these stupid little 4x6 plates on the rear channel. It's just it's like, dumb. So after spending some time thinking about it, we came up with a plan that, of course, he wanted to change halfway through it. I'm like, stop. Let's just do this. And because he's like, I found this other stuff. I'm like, stop.
Get off the ledge. Jump out. Get away from the ledge, sir.
We came up with a solid plan. So what we did is we took the KS tweeters and the KS 2.5s and put those on channel 1 and 2. Now, the cool thing about that amplifier is that the 5-channel amp has a 10-time multiplier switch on both sets of channels, and it has a bandpass on 3 and 4. So it's you can do a true 3-way set with that 5-channel amplifier.
Right.
Don't get too excited. The amplifier doesn't exist anymore. We got CS and keys. Yay. Anyways, but if you find one, it's a cool amp. So cap the tweeters, cap the 2.5s. Turn the crossover up for the bottom of the 3.5s. Okay. Because, it's a dial.
Yeah.
I don't like dials. Dials suck. You can still sit there with a crossover calibrator for an hour and just pray to God that it's doing what it's supposed to do. So that was 1 and 2. 3 and 4 was the 6x9. Now we put a bandpass on those because I wanted there to be imaging, and I don't need a loud ass tweeter down low in the door to screw up this nice array that I just put up in his dash.
Yeah.
So we bandpassed those so they only played up so high and played down so low. And then the cool thing about the modern deck is that if the modern deck has an EQ or DSP, you have level control for each channel aside from the fader. So what we'll do is we'll go in and we'll turn the output level of the rear all the way down, because what happens is just like you've done it in your car. If you're going to use that rear channel output, you don't want it to distort before the RCA does. So by turning the level all the way down, you can turn the volume all the way up to where your preamp's fine and still use that rear channel output. But they're only 6 inches from your head, so we still have to fade up. I was like, God damn, man, these things are insane, But once we did that and got it all in the car, we could use the time alignment from the radio. It sounded great. I used my iTest mic. The Alpine has front and rear EQ, which is cool. So we could EQ the rears, because it's a 4-inch, 6 inches from your head. So it had this mid-range bump through the roof, and the highest crossover point I could use was 200. So I would have loved to put it up at like 350, and that would have solved all that crap, but couldn't. Yeah. So we just EQ'd all that shit down and then tuned the front, aligned it all together. And, you sat in the car and you're like, man, this is like some of the best sounding goulash there is.
Well, and it's all thanks to what I consider a form of DSP in the head unit. And that's what I mean by, like, you need something like this.
Yeah.
You're not going to be able to just use the line output converter and some amps. I mean, you can, but you're not going to get your money's worth.
You need some adjustment. And the funny thing is like, he's had this in his car for a year. Okay. Basically, he could never get it to work right. And we took the same shit that he had, and it worked. And he's like, man, this is awesome. Like, this is exactly what I envisioned it sounding like a year ago, And it's like, well, yeah, professional. I brought that all around. We went a long way to get to there.
It's a full circle moment. So, no, I've never compared the IMM6 to the eMic 1, but I will tell you that I have compared the IMM6 to the mic that's stuck with your phone, and it's literally zero difference.
That's the Dayton mic, right?
That's the little Dayton one. And
is that the little Dayton thing?
Yeah, the one that sticks out the end.
Yeah, I got
literally exactly the same as just using the phone mic. So, it's only $20.
Dean, why do you say this Stinger High 10 is good when it's an Android radio underneath?
What does that mean? The layer it's built upon.
Okay, here, I'm going to tell you some secrets right now. Pioneer has been using Android as a base layer for years, and y'all love that shit. Right. Okay.
I think he's getting confused with like the cheap Android head units where they literally just put like Android someone would have on their phone on a touchscreen in a car. Those suck.
Layer to crap.
But if
And
you use it, if you
yeah,
use it as your
just
base layer and you build your software, it's fine. It's
listen, man, an operating system's an operating system. Okay,
yeah.
Radios ran a layer of Windows CE forever. What is it? What is the little Penguin software called?
Linux.
Linux. Kenwood's uses Linux, so Kenwood has been running a layer of Linux on their radios ever since they switched to the dual core processor. I have no idea what Alpine's running other than slow. They're probably still running Windows CE, but I wouldn't be surprised if they were running Android also. You got to understand, it's a cheap operating system that they can buy to put develop their operating system on. That's all that matters. I mean, the problem is spending the money to develop develop your GUI into that operating system. That's where it all goes sideways. The other thing too that is expensive is the processor. Optimizing your build for the processor. If you look at a Kenwood from 5 years ago, dude, they were slow and they were sluggish and they ran Windows CE and they just could not get those to do what they needed to do in a time. You'd hit a button and you'd be like, they sounded great, but that was it. You know, when they switched to the dual core running Linux, holy crap, it was lightning in a bottle. Like,
and that's why that's why I assume a lot of them are using Android now, because like the processors for the phones are optimized for this stuff. So it's an easier swap to get an old Android phone processor to.
Well, I always think it's funny if you think about it. Here's the funny part. You have an Android operating system running CarPlay.
Yeah.
Okay. So Google had to make their operating system capable of running CarPlay.
Yeah.
That's really where I mean, if you want to laugh about something.
Well, I think they open source.
And here's the funny part.
Yeah.
It runs Android Auto like shit. Okay. So it didn't do this. They couldn't get their own shit to work together, but they could get their shit and Apple shit to work. No problems. You know?
Oh man.
Yeah. Order a Hi-Fi Big 3 kit off of Alibaba.
A Hi-V.
Oh, jeez, Hi-V. Oh my gosh. Is the high-res audio EX Sony ES a marketing hype or legit new SQ product? It's a legit new SQ product. That new Sony radio is pretty badass. Like, I'd like to get.
Does it have the same DAC that come in the?
It has the newer DAC. It has the newer version of the DAC. Better. So it has the new Saber. It has the newer version of whatever the Saber DAC was. Yeah. So the newer version of what came in the GS9 is what's coming in this. The funny part was they really didn't want to get too into talking about all that stuff. Yeah. Like they did on the GS9. Like they spent a lot of time talking about it on the GS. Yeah, and for this one, they really weren't that. They didn't want to concentrate on that too much, and it's like okay.
That might not have sold many units for them, before this. So they might be like, "Whoa, we're not doing that again. We're talking about features here."
Yeah, it could be, But if we ever get our hands on one, that's going to be the first thing we're going to tear that sucker apart and see what's inside of it. Because we have the GS9, and Sony loves that.
Well, and the new unit, the new ES one makes me more apt to buy one. Although I always want a DAC with a volume knob. Totally get that.
Okay. Can we just screw the damn volume knob?
I love the volume knob. I love volume knobs.
Where's your volume knob?
Yeah, I hate those.
Okay, you have a TV. I've seen you use it. How do you turn up and down the volume? You ain't got a knob. Let me turn up and down the TV.
No, man.
Okay. No. There are no knobs in our lives anymore. Let it go.
High-end audio all have
doesn't use a knob.
Yeah, high-end
It doesn't use a knob. I have a high-end audio receiver. Guess what? It's 20 feet away from me. You know how I turn up and down? By pressing a button.
You gotta have to. No, I'm still not that. Look at. I can show you this. I bought this Focusrite specifically because it has nice knobs.
Okay, cool.
I hate push because here's the problem. You're pulling up to a stop sign. You have it loud. Of course, now you can drag your finger off the touchscreen. If not, you're sitting there.
Just hit mute.
Yeah,
mute.
That's terrible. That's a terrible.
Okay, so here's the other stupid thing.
When you're driving a car, you shouldn't have to look at what you're doing, you can just grab a knob.
I have steering wheel controls. I don't need a freaking knob. I literally go.
I drive a 2001, bro.
Okay, but Derek's bitching about it, and
Yeah.
he drives an F-150. Guess what? He keeps his factory knob. The Moog.
Yeah.
It's like he's over here bitching. It needs to have a knob, dude. You have a 2.5-inch knob that stays in your dash. What the fuck else do you want? You get to go. Ooh, but I bet you never uses it. He just pushes the buttons on the steering wheel.
Yeah, probably.
I wish I had a knob. You do 12 inches from your hand, but you're doing this.
Yeah, I'm not, dude. You'll never convert me over into liking the push buttons. I just don't. I like the high 10s.
Get a JVC.
Well, the high 10's got one on it.
Yeah, but a JVC doesn't have a knob, but it has a knob. You just put your finger in the screen and do this.
Yeah, I don't want to do that now.
Why? It's the same thing.
No, just go. I like the tactile feel of it. It's just nice.
It goes tick 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 tick.
Yeah. Well, I'll tell you what. Car manufacturers always put knobs in their radio.
No, they don't. No, they don't. Honda hasn't put a knob in a car in like the last 5 years.
Honda radios have sucked since the 70s.
But it's one of the #1 car manufacturers on the face of the earth.
Oh, because they make fantastic cars.
You want to know? You want to know what else? I tell you right now.
Have you ever
trying to find the way to control the radio in the modern car?
Yeah.
Good luck. Steering wheel controls. Cars now are designed to use steering wheel controls. They're not like trying to find that. You will end up in a ditch dead trying to find the knob in a BMW. Okay.
Yeah.
You'll even end up in a ditch dead trying to use their stupid Alpha Touch thing. I mean, that's
and if you're doing it in a Dodge, you may change the gears.
Oh yeah, you got a big knob to change. That's dumb. There's a knob.
That's a problem. 2 knobs right next to each other, like no.
Well, not only that, but okay, we had a Lexus Nissan. What's Nissan? Nissan Lexus or Infiniti? No, Toyota. It was a Toyota, so it was Lexus. So we had a Lexus in the other day, and it has the new Lexus has a touchpad. Okay. Oh, fucking stupidest thing I've ever seen. I would not buy the car because of that touchpad. Like trying to do this, like, I'm not moving. I'm in the passenger seat. You're supposed to do this while you're driving? Are you out of your mind? Like, no. Steering wheel control. Yes. Track up, track down. Yeah, all that fun shit. Knobs are dead, man.
Listen, the
90s are gone.
I'd still buy. Well, listen, my whole career on YouTube is built on the 90s. This is what I do, man. But listen, I would still buy the new Sony ES over the GS9, even though I love the big knob on there, because it actually has features now. You can do things with it.
Oh, it's so much better.
It has a screen. It's actually it's a couple $100 cheaper even.
Yeah, I know.
So it's like, I mean, why? I'm not opposed to buying.
So one of the reasons why, one of the reasons why it is cheaper is because when they gave the guy the task of taking the home DAC and putting it into a car, they didn't really explain to him what he was trying to do.
Right.
So he wanted to make sure he got all the pieces into the box, and he didn't need half of them.
Okay.
So that's why the GS9 costs more, is because they put more stuff in it that you'll never use. And it was like, so everything that they learned about engineering the GS9, when they built this piece, they're like, all right, guys, listen. All right.
Dial it back a second.
All this shit we don't need. Okay. This is the stuff we need. It's like, it's got a Toshlink output. Yeah, but you can't use it. Yeah. You can't use it. You would never. There's no scenario in which you'd use the Toshlink output of a GS9, because the DAC inside of it is the best DAC in the world. Whatever, and you want that,
right?
These guys are going to go out of that DAC. I'm going to go Toshlink output into my Dayton DSP.
Exactly. And they've done the right thing here, because you're getting more value, more features. Like, that's the unit to buy, in my opinion. Like, don't buy a GS9, get this new one. Like, even if you gotta wait.
Oh yeah.
Get this one.
It's so nice. When we got to play with it when it first came out, it was a lot of fun and we had a good time.
Although
And
I will admit, like the touchscreen knob, the JVC one, that is kind of cool. But
honestly, I had no
I was
idea it
already
did
on this
that.
side of the argument. I was already on this side of the argument.
Oh, it's okay. It's okay. Trust me. I was with you.
Yeah.
You know, back in the 90s, I was with you because it was like Alpine went to push button and we're all going, how do you turn up? How do you turn it up? Turn it up. No, this is how you go turn it up now.
Yeah.
You don't do this anymore. No one knows what this is. Like if I do this to Haley, she'll call me a pervert.
Yeah.
So knobs are dead.
Man,
It's a sad time. It's a sad time. But it looks bad.
It's the nostalgia.
Nothing looks uglier. Nothing looks uglier than when you buy one of those double din radios that's got the 6-inch screen and they just shoehorn that little half-inch volume knob on it.
Oh yeah, the little ones.
It looks so stupid. And more than likely, you're not even going to get your fingers because your dash key. You want to be able to get your fingers on there to turn up and down anyways, and you wish you had a push button.
That's what I like about the Hi-10. It's like got a boom. It's nice, luxurious.
And there again, the reason why the Hi-10 looks like that is because all the guys that work there did car audio
like me
back in the 90s. There isn't a new blood person in that place.
Those guys. I love those guys to death.
But that's the reality of it. Everyone that works there did car audio back in the 90s.
Right.
They don't have anybody that works there that knows anything about the last, 10 years.
Yeah.
So, yeah, that's what you get.
That's how it be sometimes.
It's understandable. Oh, well. Pet peeves,
right,
bro.
What do you got? What do you got coming up?
I got nothing tomorrow because I'm trying to get this Rockford video done. So if I can get that done, hopefully you guys will get that next week. We got the news tomorrow morning for whatever that's worth. And that's it. I just
listen.
Rockford.
I'm waiting on the Rock Doc.
I'm waiting on the Rock Doc too because I need to get to the SEMA video, the MSC video. Got Kenwood and JVC finally pulled our embargo on their videos for their new motorsports. So we have all those amp dynos that we couldn't release. So they just finally publicly released it. So they make these little tiny motorsport amplifiers are like this big that put out shit tons of power and are waterproof. It's like awesome.
Because you gotta be loud, bro.
Oh no, they're incredible. Bluetooth amplifiers that are this big that just kill it.
Yeah,
they're gonna sell like wildfire.
There you go. I've got 4 videos mid edit, and
nice.
Guess what?
How do you do that?
Listen, man, I'm finicky. I started and I was like, you know what? I'm not feeling this. I want to.
Really?
Yeah. I want to start.
I wish I could live that way.
But guess what? I'm not going to use any 4 of those. I've got another idea that I want to put out for this Sunday. So I'm like, tomorrow I'm going to have to buckle down.
That must be nice putting out one edited video a week. Man.
Right. Well, I've been doing 2. I've been doing 2. But since they've done this mandatory overtime,
I got to get on that train.
Way to dial it up, man.
I got one video a week train. 10 minutes a week, and I'm done.
There you go, man. That's how you do it.
That's definitely.
Yeah, 10 minutes.
I'm good. All right, guys. Thank you for tuning in. Make sure to check us out next over on.
Oh, I'm glad you said that.
You can put the link in. Tonight we will be talking about a movie, and we'll just leave it at that. And you can find us over on SideJag on the SideJag Network. Thank you guys for tuning in. This has been the High Five Vega Network, where shit just got real.
Wait. We're not. Next week's Thanksgiving, right?
Oh shit.
Yeah. So we'll see you in a couple weeks, then I guess.
Yeah. Well. Which reminds me. Thank you. Every Thanksgiving we do a live show from the beach. So if any of you guys are interested, 10 o'clock Eastern Standard Time, we'll be at the beach. It'll be Fernando. It'll be me. It'll be Haley. We do it every Thanksgiving. We go on for an hour. We show you the beach life, people. It's a lot of fun. We take your questions. We do it from the back of Haley's car. It's great. This will be like the fifth or 6th year we've done it. So we're super excited. 10 o'clock, Thanksgiving morning.
Yeah,
before all the
I watched it
starts.
last 2 years live, so I'll be there again.
Hopefully it won't rain or be cold.
Yeah.
All right,
it's going to be cold here. All right.
See ya.
SideJag.